Hey everybody, welcome back to another Dark Park Film Reviews. I am John Ward, and thank you for being here. This is kind of a follow-up to the previous video that I did, the Zack Schneider video. And this is pretty much the remaining DC movies from Warner Brothers that I have. And I combed my entire collection, and this is it. I really don't have as many as I thought. I'm surprised that there are certain collections or movies and stuff that are not here. So this is probably going to be at least for me, a pretty short video. So I don't own any of the Superman movies. Well, except for Man of Steel and things like that. I don't own any of the older films, like the Christopher Reeve ones. There's a box set that I would like to get, but I do own Supergirl. Okay, I do own this, and this is actually a really good box set. I'm sorry, it's not a box set; it's a limited edition collection, and it's from Anchor Bay. It actually has a number here, so there's 50,000 that were made, and this is 15,105. So that's kind of cool. I am a fan of this. Is it as good as the Christopher Reeve, Superman movies? No. Is it better than Superman 4, maybe? Yeah. But Superman 4 does have its moments. And of course, Superman 3's got the great fight between good Superman and like Clark Kent. So in the junkyard, that was really good. But I enjoyed this. I actually thought this was a pretty good a collection. It's a 2-disc. So the first one is disc 1 is you get the international version, and then disc 2 is the director's cut, which is the better version. So let's see, do they give, I don't know if they give, yeah, here. Yeah, it says the director's cut is the never before seen 138-minute version. On disc 1, you do get audio commentary with the director. There's also a making of, trailer, TV spots, poster galleries. Disc 2 is listed as a 16-page full color bonus booklet, widescreen. But it says here, this limited edition double disc set contains 2 versions of the film. The international version containing 10 minutes of footage not seen in the US and presented in widescreen and Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound. The director's cut containing 10 minutes. So this doesn't have the US version. I didn't realize that, like the theatrical cut that I saw in the theater. So the international version is 10 minutes longer. The director's cut is 24 minutes longer. So containing 24 minutes of long last and recently rediscovered footage presented here for the very first time. Adventure soars higher than ever before. I didn't realize this. I thought that this had the theatrical cut and the director's cut. But no, there's actually 3 versions of this movie. Damn, I'll have to buy the that one too. They do like the theatrical cut because that's what I'm used to. But I would probably watch that and then just stick with the director's cut. So this is that booklet. But I really am shocked at how little DC movies I've that I don't own. Also got the soundtrack for this, and this is the soundtrack for it here. That's the cover that they use. Crossword puzzle. That's fun. That's cool. Until The Flash came out, I absolutely loved, because I love the woman who plays Supergirl in the Flash movie. And then the woman who plays Supergirl in the TV show is pretty good too. But Helen Slater, I think, will always be the number one, Supergirl, in my opinion. So yeah, there you go. Not showing off Superman, showing off Supergirl. Some of these I got on DVD because they do come with like the booklet and all that. And that would be the same with like Supergirl and also with this. I know it's not the comic. They did a TV show after the movie came out, like years later, and I didn't like it because they kind of censored it from what the comic is. And I've heard Keanu Reeves does want to make a sequel to this. And I'm hoping they do to a degree. I just don't want them to mess it up. But this is Constantine. And I love this one. I really like it. Like I said, I know it's not the comic, and the TV show does come closer to what the comic is. They did cut out him smoking, I think. But I like in this that he does smoke. I'm actually anti-smoking, but I mean, if you want to smoke, go ahead and smoke. But as far as movies go, if the character smokes, I think that they should smoke. But I really enjoyed this. I like this a lot, and I thought that he was pretty good in this. So, but it's funny as he's made 3 movies where he has to sit in a chair and he goes into like another realm. And he sits in a chair in Constantine to go to the other side where, and I love this, that LA is hell, which is true. If you've ever lived in LA, it's pretty much hell. And then of course there's the Matrix, and then Johnny Mnemonic. So 3 movies where Keanu Reeves in sits in a chair to go into some alternate realm or dimension or whatever it might be. This one is kind of like the Supergirl one, where it's a little thicker, and that's because it's a 2-disc special edition. And I'll pull this out here. So it comes with, actually, it's done very much like the Supergirl one. And disc 1 is the movie. Disc 2 are the special features. You get stuff like audio commentary, music videos, trailers, 18 minutes of deleted scenes, including an alternate ending, production hell, documentary, imagining the underworld. So there's a lot of stuff on this. So this is pretty cool. And you do get like this comic book here. So John Constantine, Hellblazer. And the whole reason why they didn't want to use Hellblazer is because of Hellraiser. They didn't want people to get confused. And there's V for Vendetta. And this is the Vertigo DC Comics. So they give you like a little comic book with it. See, there he is smoking. And he's blonde and British. So Keanu Reeves is kind of the exact opposite of what the character really is. So I can understand if people are like a hardcore fans, they may not like this, this movie, because they do take a lot of liberty with what the character looks like and sounds like. But I know some comic book movies really make me mad, but this one didn't. I really liked it. Even Shia LaBeouf is in it, and I don't really care for him, but he's kind of growing on me a little bit. So we don't have to go through the whole thing, but let's see. What else is there? I think for Vertigo Comics. Yeah. So this is, oh, then it lists a lot of the comics here on the back for Hellblazer. So that's why I bought some of these as DVD. Like I was saying, I picked them up because they have these extra, extra things with them that you wouldn't get with the Blu-ray. So that's Constantine. And then same idea for V for Vendetta. So this has kind of like a cool, kind of like 3D cover on it. And yeah, see, it's even got it's got like its comic book right there. And this is, Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving. So this is also a 2-disc special. It's done from the creators of The Matrix. So disc 1 is the movie, disc 2 is the special features. And then you get the yeah, so V for Vendetta was on the other comic, on its back, and now on its back here is the Superman Returns. 2006. So let's see. This is also Vertigo. I'll flip through. I mean, it's pretty cool that they do this. And a lot of these I picked up used, so they were really cheap. But I also wanted to make sure that they came with everything like the comic book. And then this has Watchmen, which I talked about which is also Alan Moore. Talked about in the other video. So that would be V for Vendetta. Get these back in here without damaging everything. Okay. Now we're on a kind of a Batman thing here. So it's weird because Superman would be my favorite DC character, where like Marvel Spider-Man is. But I seem to collect more Batman, obviously, as you're about to see, than I do Superman, which I've collected 0. So I picked this up, and this is 4 film favorites, the Batman collection. So this is Blu-ray. And it's got Tim Burton's Batman, it's got Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. It's got the Warner Brothers 90 years sticker on it. This was a Best Buy exclusive. I used to do merchandising for Best Buy for a couple years, and so every once in a while they would get Blu-rays in that would just be exclusive to them. Target would do the same thing. Walmart would do the same thing. But this one, like I said, is exclusive to Best Buy. And it does have its slipcase. These I'm glad to have all in kind of like one package and one collection. I like how each one has like a different color on it. I love the first Tim Burton Batman. My favorite Batman still Yeah, would be Batman Returns, and my favorite Batman is still Michael Keaton. Even though I think that he was completely and totally wasted in The Flash. I think he just did it for a check. Um, most likely Warner Brothers was paying him pretty good. And as we know, he was also in or was supposed to be in, or well, there's on-set pictures of him for Batgirl. But I think, and was he in one other? There might have been three: The Flash, Batgirl, and one other. And then he was completely scrapped from one. And then, of course, Batgirl is not coming out. And then I thought that he was wasted for The Flash. And apparently, him coming back as Batman didn't even help that movie at the box office. So one thing that does annoy me is that they stack the discs. So there's Batman and Batman Returns on this one, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin on this one. It's an easy way to scratch the disc, and I don't like when they do that. Eventually, I'll probably buy a something where it's got the flaps on it and put them in there. But for now, I've watched them enough to where I don't have to keep removing them. If I had to rate these, I would go Batman Returns, then Batman. I hate to do this. Batman and Robin, and then Batman and Batman Forever. I watch normally Batman Returns at Christmas, and Batman Forever. I wish that they would include the deleted scenes back, do like a director's cut. Joel Schumacher unfortunately has passed away. But if they could maybe do a producer's cut or an assembly cut, or maybe if they know how he wanted his director's cut to go, there's a great scene at the beginning at Arkham Asylum. And I think that this film could be better. My big problem with this is Jim Carrey. I don't like him as the Riddler. He doesn't have enough of a change. He basically he's kind of crazy at the beginning, and then when he becomes the Riddler, he's still kind of crazy. And I don't think that he was the right choice. I think maybe Robin Williams, who was going to be in it when Tim Burton was still here, would have been a much better choice. Tommy Lee Jones, I like as an actor, but I don't think that he's a good Two-Face. It would have been nice to maybe have Billy D. Williams, continue and have him as Two-Face, but I just don't think that he did a good job. Nicole Kidman, I'm fine with. She's really hot in this. Val Kilmer is fine as Batman. He's okay. Chris O'Donnell as Robin is fine. Whatever. But I do, even though Batman and Robin is totally crazy, I do like Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I think that he's perfect for Mr. Freeze. George Clooney, I think, makes a good Bruce Wayne, just not necessarily a good Batman. And of course, we got all the bat cards and the bat nipples and the bat butts, but that's all Joel Schumacher. So, and Chris O'Donnell once again is fine. And Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, she was okay. She was all right in that. I mean, she's no Michelle Pfeiffer, but she was good. And Alicia Silverstone, I've always liked. I've always found her to be very cute. If you're going to bring in Batgirl, sure, why not? I didn't think that she was bad or anything, really. But the story for Batman and Robin is not that great. But you do see changes, like with Poison Ivy, the character is different, and then when she changes into Poison Ivy, she's nerdy, and then she goes into Poison Ivy, and Batgirl is kind of Batgirl. But Schwarzenegger, I like him being the scientist. I think it kind of matches the original TV show. And Clooney, I just think he was supposed to be Green Hornet at one point, and I think he would have made a better Green Hornet than Batman. And where I don't think that there's really a lot of range with Tommy Lee Jones or Jim Carrey, I think that maybe Uma Thurman did a much better job. So that's why I like Batman and Robin better. It's also better edited. This Batman Forever feels very choppy because I think they cut a lot out, but Batman and Robin doesn't. So, you know, we like what we like. So that's the original Batman movies. And there is some good stuff on here too. You know, there's they don't really show it on here, but on the discs, because they are on their own discs, that you do get special features. So they're, oh, here we go. So like Batman is commentary with Tim Burton. You get a couple special like two featurettes, documentaries. Batman Returns, you get commentary by Tim Burton. Featurette, some documentaries. Batman Forever, you do get commentary by Joel Schumacher, some documentaries. Batman and Robin, you also get audio commentary by Joel Schumacher and some documentaries. So there is a thing on here called Shadow of the Bat. That's pretty good. It looks like part 6. So there's 6 parts to it. And Joel Schumacher does apologize for Batman and Robin on the documentaries. But what he talks about in those documentaries is pretty good. And you get to understand a little bit more of why he made them the way that he did. So it made me like both films a little bit more. I like Batman Forever a little bit more because of those documentaries. Now we get into the Christopher Nolan stuff. So this is the case with some of the other DVDs. So this is Batman Begins. It's got that cool like 3D cover to it. It's a 2-disc special edition. And it also comes with like its own comic book. So this was a thing for a while that they were doing that was pretty cool. And disc 1 is the movie, and it's got some special features, but disc 2 is the one that's got a ton of stuff. I like Christopher Nolan. I think he's an excellent filmmaker. I do have some problems with his storytelling. But I own most of his movies. I thought that this was an interesting place to start because Warner Brothers was going to be doing Batman Year Zero. And so, but they started with Batman Begins. And I like that they made everything a little more human, that his cars and trucks and gadgets and everything were much more military. And so it's much more realistic. So, and this is DC Comics up there, and you got the V for Vendetta back there. So it's nice. It goes through. I really wanted them to continue with the Snyderverse because or Snyderverse that Zack Snyder had and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. It's just being dyslexic and how my name, how my brain sees things. So I do try, but I know that I do say at times names wrong, even though they're very obvious. But he was setting up, especially when like Bruce Wayne, when his parents get killed at the movie theater, that it was going to be flipped and that Bruce is killed and his mom becomes the Joker and the dad becomes, Batman. And they were going to be setting that up, and it sadly just never happened. They did, there's a reason why it's, God, I'm blanking on their names, but it's Maggie from The Walking Dead, and of course Negan from The Walking Dead. And there was a reason why he got known people to play, the mother and father. And because they were in like kind of like this alternate universe, they were going to, flip it and make her the Joker and make him Batman. And it would have been more of uh, an older Batman, kind of like what Ben Affleck did. So, but it's, sadly we'll never see that. I don't have a lot of faith in James Gunn. I kind of do and I don't at the same time. But we'll have to see what happens. But correction. Oh, there's a correction in here. The credits for the story, The Batman, should read writer Bill Finger and artist Bob Kane. Huh. So he made a mistake. So that's Batman Begins, which for a first Batman I liked. I wish it was more like The Dark Knight, where it really was realistic, where, Metropolis is supposed to be New York, while, Gotham is, I think I got that right. Gotham is supposed to be New York. Yeah, Gotham is New York, while Metropolis is Chicago, I think is how that works. So I wish that that Batman Begins was a little more realistic in its setting, like The Dark Knight. And that's what I have here. So this is also DVD, but it's got the steel case on it. And I don't really think it's still a double disc. And it looks like, yeah, movie and then special features, and then there's a digital copy on it. It's showing the Bat cycle. I do think Heath Ledger deserved the best actor for this. I don't think they gave it to him because he died. I think that he did an excellent job, and I think it is going to be incredibly difficult for anybody to replace him. They even tried with Jared Leto at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, with making him look at the very end of making him look more like the Heath Ledger Joker. But I can't tell what special features or anything on this. I might have had a slipcover over it. I bought it used, but it's nice, so I decided to pick it up this way. Out of the 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies, I do think this one is the best, even though it does have story issues. For example, the bank at the beginning. It's weird that it's a long line of buses, and one of the buses, burst into a bank, and everybody's getting shot up, and then the Joker gets into the bus, reverses it up, and just gets right back into the line, and they travel on. But yet nobody is saying anything. Nobody is calling the cops. Nobody's doing anything. When the Joker is dressed up like the nurse and he's outside and he blows up the hospital, and then he once again hops onto a bus, nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. He just hops in through the back, and he looks like this, but in a nurse's outfit. So you think somebody would say something. So there are very cool moments in this that I think are story flawed, but are still good. So I do think this is the best out of the 3, definitely. Dark Knight Rises is the one that I have on Blu-ray, and this is Blu-ray DVD Ultraviolet, and it's got the cover. And I think this is by far the weakest one. I have a feeling that Christopher Nolan, David S. Goyer, all these people were more interested in making Man of Steel, and so they just kind of went um, in a way, kind of like Venom: The Last Stand. They're like, well, shit, we got to make three, so let's just get it done, and kind of just make it and go. This is not a good story. It's I do like Bane. I think Bane, I think Tom Hardy's Bane is really good. I actually like the voice, and I like that it's under the mask. I think that they did a good job. I forgot to mention that with Batman and Robin, I do think that that's so far the best version of Bane that we've seen. He looks like Bane. He may be a big dumb guy in Batman and Robin, but he does look like Bane. But I don't like that Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like originally, like, or that he becomes like Robin. That I'm not a fan of. Especially at the end when the woman goes, "Oh, you should go by your actual name, Robin. It's such a nice name." I didn't like that at all. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman is fine. She's okay. Michael Caine is always excellent, but I guess because of his great speech in The Dark Knight, they had to give him another one that wasn't as good. I do like that. Basically, the Batman is after his encounter with the Joker, he is pretty messed up, and then of course later on he gets his back broken by Bane, but then he gets just thrown in some hole for a long time, and he makes his way out, but he doesn't have any money. How does he get back to Gotham? That doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of plot holes, a lot of bad story writing in this. But it's I got to have it in the collection to to have all three. So just really seemed like they just wanted to make it and get it done with. Was not just very disappointed. Was not a huge fan. And so that's the DVD. Blu-ray. It's for the digital. And it says over 3 hours of bonus features, including the Batmobile, ending the night, and much more. I mean, the film is fine. It's just not, it's not how I wanted it to end. So, yeah. Dark Knight Rises. I think that this is a much better Batman than actually Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises, but it's not as good as The Dark Knight. And that is The Batman. I've been watching The Penguin, which I think is pretty good, except that I think the Riddler was only mentioned once, maybe in the very first episode. Batman was only mentioned once, and we're already like 6 episodes in. So it would be nice if the maybe have Batgirl come back, or at some point Batman's going to have to make an appearance. They're going to have to say something. He's there, but I think that this is an excellent version of Batman. It's one of my favorites, and I liked what they did with the Riddler. I thought that was really interesting. I'm not a big fan of nepotism, but I don't know. I thought that why am I? Zoe Kravitz. I thought she did a pretty good job. And John Turturro did not return to the TV series for stupid reasons at all. I thought Robert Pattinson was actually good as Batman. What's nice is that since he's supposed to be like this great detective, Batman, he actually does detective work in this. I don't mind it being 3 hours. It just seems like the story kind of dictated that it be a little bit longer, which is fine. I do like Colin, Farrell as the Joker, and he's really good in the TV series. They have, Andy Serkis is awesome. I mentioned him in my Venom Last Dance review. I'm a big Andy Serkis fan, so he's Alfred. So there's a bunch of good people in this. And this is the Blu-ray DVD, and you got a digital code inside. So there's our digital code, and then there's the Blu-ray, and there's the DVD. So this one's got a bat on it. Well, this is it's the special features. It's got more of the Riddler. There is a and I think that you could see this on YouTube. There is a deleted scene where Batman does talk to the Joker. He's in Arkham. It's a little too much of a copycat of The Dark Knight when Batman is confronting the Joker in the police station. But if they wanted to, they could say that the Joker is in this Penguin world. So you would have Batman, you would have Batgirl, you would have the Riddler, you would have the Joker. So it's just something that I really wish that they would do. But so far, nothing. I'll be watching the newest episode of The Penguin tonight, probably when I'm done with this. But I definitely think that this is one of the best ones. I really like this Batman quite a bit. I'd like to see a sequel to it, because it would bring back Batman. At least I would hope it would bring back Batman. And then our last one here is a film that I absolutely loved, but everybody hates the sequel. I'm excuse me. I am love-hate with the sequel. And I'm just going to call it Joker 2. This is just Joker. And I think, Joaquin Phoenix, who I'm not a massive fan of, did an excellent job in this. Robert De Niro, I think, does a great job. Everybody does a great job. I tend to think that the Hangover trilogy is my favorite trilogy. I love it. I actually have it. It's right here. Got all three right here. And I've seen them a few times each. And I think Todd Phillips, as a filmmaker, as he has grown and as each Hangover movie gets darker and darker, we got Joker. So I think if he didn't do the Hangover movies, we wouldn't have this. As a standalone movie, this is great. It should have never had a sequel. It really shouldn't have. And I have now watched probably like 100 videos on really probably like 98% of the people hating it. Like the other 2% people like it, but they don't think it's great. There's a ton of videos, and maybe this was the idea that Todd Phillips had was to have this film studied, part 2 studied, because people are analyzing it and breaking it down. And is this a giant fuck you? And did he, Todd Phillips took 20 million, Joaquin Phoenix took 20 million, and Lady Gaga got 12 million. I also read that she's mad because her scenes were, a lot of her scenes were cut. And I think that she could have been a good Harley Quinn. So this, I think, works. It just works for everybody who feels that they are, just living that shit life where, you get a toothache, and then you go in and you find out that you don't have insurance anymore. And to fix that toothache, you're going to be paying like $500 or $1,000, whatever it might be. So here's the Blu-ray and the DVD. There we got Joker there. Just how he is treated by coworkers, how he's treated by these guys that beat the shit out of him when he's twirling the sign, being, picked on in the subway. I agree with all these things. I would be a supporter. I honestly would. I think shitty people deserve what they get, and this film shows that, and I really like that. That if you're just a raging asshole, then maybe you get what's coming to you. So it's kind of a movie made for people like me, and there's a reason why this film made over $1 billion, because there's a lot of those people out there. And the soundtrack is great, the cinematography is great, the directing is great, uh, the editing is great, the performances are great. I mean, this is just one of those movies that it just works. And when you find out that a lot of this stuff has been in his head, like with his lawyer that you think is his girlfriend, it just works. And then when you go back and watch it a second time and it's fake, it still works. So it's and I love the way that the Joker looks, that he just has that more classic Joker look to him. So even though I don't think Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Joker is better. I don't think it's better than Heath Ledger's. I don't. It's different. But I was not a fan of the ending of Joker 2, where I believe it was asked. Christopher Nolan said that he didn't want these films connected to his Batman movies, and they kind of did it anyways, with the Joker being killed and then the guy laughing and him blurry in the background, kind of cutting his cheeks to make himself look more like the Heath Ledger Joker. I don't mind Joker being killed, because I also don't think this should have been connected to Batman. I don't think we should have seen little Bruce Wayne. I think this just should have been a completely separate thing, because then, he can't be the Joker because Bruce Wayne is too young. So he is just Joker. And the guy who kills him, I guess, is supposed to take over as the Heath Ledger Joker, which then leads into, Batman Begins. So I liked it. I love this. I liked Joker 2 to a degree. I like musicals. I don't have a problem with them. But it does. I would love to talk to Todd Phillips. I really would, for like one filmmaker, one film, and find out really what went on. But I don't think that would obviously ever happen, because it really is the exact opposite of Joker. And there are films where studios will say, we're going to make this movie with you or without you. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is that way. The Matrix Resurrections was that way. And then, of course, Joker 2 was that way. That they were like, no, we're going to do it, regardless if you're here or not. And so the filmmakers do, they take a large, a paycheck, and then they do it. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So, but that's all of it. This is surprisingly not a very big collection of DC movies outside of all the recent stuff from the last like 10 or so years. But thank you for watching this. I appreciate it. I plan on buying more now that I know I need to get more, because I got two pretty big stacks here of Marvel movies, which is weird because I dislike Marvel so much. New Marvel, Disney Marvel, I dislike very much. But those are going to be coming up too with videos. There's going to be a few of those. So, all right, everybody, thanks a lot. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye.